Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a great day. So today we're going to be getting a pretty early start now. It's 6 in the morning, and today's agenda is going to be trying to have the engine bay shaved and tucked and primered by the end of the day. Hopefully we can do it. We'll see. The entire front end of the truck needs to come off since there's nothing really on it that's good besides the hood, which I need to do a lot of body work on, and the grill that is in perfect condition. Other than that, everything else needs to come off because it's going to be getting replaced. So figured I would just take the whole entire front end off and degrease the whole thing, and then we'll see what holes need to be welded in and grind it down smooth, and then maybe mix up some body filler to get everything smooth, and then hopefully, like I said, by the end of the day we'll get some primer on there. That way we can just get the paint and spray it on. It never seems to rain around here, except for when I have time to work on the cars. That's the only time it starts to rain and gets cold, but I guess it should help wash everything down a little bit. You guys follow me on Instagram, you saw that this hood actually went flying off of the truck. So a couple days ago we had some wind, and I had the hood just sitting on top, and it blew it up and over the truck, over the shell, and it hit my dad's truck in the windshield and broke his windshield. So didn't really get too damaged besides the hook right here. It's all bent, but I have another hood which I could swap that over with, and then I got all messed up right here. But it's not too bad. It's not any real big dents, just the paint got scraped off all the way to the metal, so it's just the paint thickness, but I can fix that. There's no big major dents on that thing, so that's good. Now that we got everything removed from this side, you can see it's looking a whole lot better. And I don't think anything else is going in there besides a battery. So all those holes you see are all going to get plugged up. So welded and grinded and probably body filled. I've already started grinding a couple of the spots, as you can see. The ones that I'm going to be welding in. And I still got to do all the ones up there. So it's going to be a time-consuming process since I have to grind it all, weld it, and then grind it flush again. And if there's any pinholes, gotta fill those in again, grind them, and then body fill them, and then obviously shave that down. So it's definitely gonna take a while, but it's gonna look a lot cleaner than leaving it like that where it looks like Swiss cheese. Now that we have all the holes grinded down, now we can go ahead and start to weld them in. I thought about taking them to get some practice in, but it'll be so much faster and easier to just MIG them, since I'm probably gonna have to go back and grind it again and fill it and grind it and fill it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first MIG it, and if there's any pinholes, then try to take them to get some practice, like I said. But first, MIG. Now that I got all the lines unbolted, as you can see, they're all just hanging there. I'm going to be removing them. I tried to save these clips, and I still don't know if they're going to work or not, but I'm not going to be running these anymore, obviously. I just wanted to keep them because they're good to have. So now everything is unhooked, as you can see. This is all going to get deleted. This is for the clutch, and all this weird funky stuff from factory is going to get completely removed. So now everything can just come out as a whole, but obviously there's so much crap going on that I can't. But time to remove the lines. Now that we got all of the holes welded and grinded, this is for the hood pin that goes in there, so that's why that's like that. But they're all welded and grinded. Still working on a few holes back there, and I still got to do this rear portion. But now I'm just going to quickly hit it with this sander, just to get a little bit of surface rust off, since it already started getting a little rusty. Get rid of that, and then throw some body filler, because you can see there is some very slight indents where I missed. Now I think it's probably better to just put some body filler over that rather than try and put more heat into it and risk warping this thin sheet metal. So that's the plan for that, and then we can shave it down and it should be good. Obviously, once I get done sanding it, I'm going to use some acetone. You can see right there. Get some acetone and go over everything just so that the body filler actually adheres to the bare metal. Got a thin layer of body filler on there, so now that should be pretty dry. Now I also welded up the back. Got to grind that, hit that with some body filler, hit all this surface rust with a wire wheel, and then obviously sand everything down. Now the plan was to get the whole entire engine bay primered and get it ready for paint, but from the looks of it, it's already getting pretty dark, and I don't want to leave it bare metal overnight. So what I'm going to do is all the bare metal spots like this, everything is now all sanded down and smooth, it's ready to go. But I don't want to leave all these bare spots the way they are. So I think for now, I'm just going to hit it with some primer on the little spots where it needs it. Keep in mind, there's spots like this that aren't even sanded down. So I'm just going to put primer on the sanded spots, and then tomorrow I'm going to come back, sand everything back down, make sure it's all smooth one more time, get it down to bare metal on the spots like this, and prep the remaining paint. And then tomorrow I can go ahead and primer the whole thing in the morning, and then wait for it to dry, and then sand it again, and then I could probably throw the paint on tomorrow. Now that everything is all primered and it's ready to go, now I'm just going to sand down everything and then start to primer it, but I'm going to primer it all gray. That way there's no dark spots and light spots. Just use etching primer since there was bare metal. But now I'm going to sand down the whole entire thing and then blow it all off, clean it all off with acetone. And before I paint anything, I'm going to be masking down the frame to try to eliminate any overspray. I will be spraying the frame with some sort of undercoating, but I'll do that after, once I primer all this. Excuse the poor quality of the night filming, but I just got out of work, so I didn't really get to work on the truck today. So yesterday I just hit it with some primer. As you can see, everything is now shaved and ready to go. This hole is for the latch, and this one over here is for the hood prop. But yeah, for the most part, it's all shaved. It's ready to go. My fuel lines, or my, I should say my brake lines are all going to get tucked, so I have a video coming up on that. Should be out next week. But yeah, I hope you guys kind of learned something from this, and maybe you guys want to tackle this on your own. Now, to weld it, the hardest part, I guess, to weld is you don't really have to know how to weld, since you're not really actually welding like a full bead. You're pretty much just tacking multiple times. What I call that is pulse welding. So you have to do that since this is thin sheet metal. You don't really want to warp it. And you can if you want, but I wouldn't recommend you do that. So what I was doing is weld in this corner and then weld next to it, weld right there, just like I said, little boogers, just little tacks in a sense, and then after that shave it flush, because you really don't want to put a lot of heat into the sheet metal. So that's pretty much the way to do it, is just tacking essentially. But yeah, everything, like I said, it's all primered, it's ready to go. I was going to cover the frame to not get overspray, but since I'm going to be redoing all of that, it doesn't really matter. Like I said, I'm sorry for the bad quality, but I'm filming at night. It's pretty late now, obviously you can see. But if you guys have any questions on how to
shave your engine bay, message me on Instagram, which is where I'm mostly active. I have that down in the description in case you guys want to check that out. But like I said, you don't really have to know how to weld. I used a pretty cheap welder. You could use a Harbor Freight one, like a $100 welder, angle grinder, and a little bit of body filler, and there you go. It's as simple as that. I guess the hardest part is that the fact that you have to take everything out of the engine bay, which is just time consuming, but other than time consuming, it's not really hard at all. If I can do it, you guys can do it. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video and found it useful, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, guys.